Another aspect here that is really fascinating to me is Sean several times talked to me about another person being in our union. We consider ourselves to be twin flames, divine partners, and he would say there's going to be a third person in this union. This is before he passed over, and so I'm just fascinated that
So he
he was
said this while he was breathing and alive.
yes,
Okay,
and
okay.
he was right.
Well, I mean, that kind of blows all other, peculiarities out of the water. I mean, when someone themselves is like discernibly, this is a matter of a fact and it's going to happen.
I mean, I had no idea that he might have been foreshadowing this whole situation. I thought just, oh, another human's going to come in or something. But yeah, so he was talking into this before he passed. And Sean, sorry, oh, I just called you Sean. That was cool. And Jay,
Wild.
Sean still comes to you. You've told me many times that since
Yeah, the more like brief check-ins, like literally kind of like if a friend came over and was just like, "Hey, I was passing by from the town over. I wanted to see what you were doing, how you were doing." Like I know
I
I don't
love
come by often, but just wanted to check on you. You know what I mean?
wow.
To be honest, it's
that is
more
so
like a girlfriend checking on a girlfriend.
That's
that's
what it feels like.
sweet.
Just checking in on you, just cause, no reason, no intent, just like checking in on you.
Would you say, Jay, that after the experience, did you feel any inspiration? Did any major changes happen in your life with afterwards with Sean? Like, did you notice that because once he left, it's like you are now back to your own identity. Did you notice any major shifts? Did you stay eating the foods that he used to eat? Did you move? Did you buy a new car? Did you change your look? Like I'm just curious as a practitioner.
Um,
I'm
the
wanting
whole
to
scape
know.
way of saying that, meaning like to sum it up, yeah, just it's your behavioral approach to life, right? Because it's you can't have that whole you just can't meaning just don't have that experience without being impacted by it, obviously. And if you're impacted by something, then you're affected for eternity or whatever,
Yes.
right? Like you don't like, oh, I'm impacted for so and so. No, like you're impacted, like look at the craters on the moon. That's an impact. Like it's still there. So yeah, it's a lasting thing. And no, I didn't go like buy a car, but like I was working out less, not even less intense, more intense, but just doing less of it, just dogging it out. You know what I mean? Like that's just a light reference to behavioral approach shifting. Um, like I would do all of the same things that I would normally do my time, but I would not crunch the time down. Here's where I'll put it: not crunch the time down, not elongate it, not do anything really with the time. But it's more just about like how you approached it. Like what is the intensity and the quality of it? Is there any grace in here? How is it like enamoring whatever aspects within? So it's much more about that than like did it change what I went out and did in the world? Not really so much, because there was really no like sense of imposition, like whereas like he's trying to imply certain experiences, like you should go out and do these things because it will open you up in whatever way. Like, no, that wasn't really quote unquote the or even a message. It was much more how are you lensing reality through mainly actually how you feel, what's the impetus, what's the driving force within you, and how do you kind of sift that up to see why you're viewing life in the total scape of seeing it, meaning like your whole sensed perception, not just like this is how I literally imagine the world. No, like how you actually, how you feel about it, how you see it, how the whole synesthetic map out for your nervous system works with all of that, like how you actually sense reality. And it changed my approach to much more graceful and honestly a much less impotent way of expressing myself, because it's much more open and kind of like willfully conflagrant, meaning I could blow things up but in an enjoyable way, whereas before I was so rigid and controlled and just trying to troll strength through so much, and in so many beautiful ways and so many marvelous harmonious ways he would show me, you can do that for eternity, my man. That is a waste of fucking time. And but he would show me that like through just do the thing you enjoy. What's the worst that can happen? Go do the thing that like you know is a ridiculous fear, but you're gonna see eventually. Go do that. Cool. Like you just nothing negative ever happens. Only what you imagine is a setback or some kind of crunchy, hard to deal with kind of reframe of reality. Like all this stuff, like that is the only thing that's happening. Your own biases, your own prejudice is the only thing that are occurring, that are quote unquote negative. The rest is an absolute like you like it just reminded me like you come here naked. You come here not with a thing. You even borrow the body. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing here that you are owed. You literally are at full gain all of the fucking time. You're like a business that's full profit 24/7. Like what, how can you lose? Like just enjoy the experience. Plus everything you're trying to do to be successful, to be insightful, not studious, noteworthy, like know everything, cognizant of this and know how to work that and manipulate the system and escape this and just how to mechanize everything in your whole experience. That's all well and good, but why are you doing it? To enjoy your experience in the first place. So I say all this just as a roundabout, fluffy way of getting to that. Like, you're literally here to enjoy your experience, and especially people who are born here with like really rough like intentionally. That's the thing I want to understand. Intentionally rough lives to get through those experiences and realize, wow, you can actually fucking enjoy those too.
What you're saying is so beautiful, and what it also makes me think about is Sean's experience in his original vessel as Sean Kelly, and then kind of reviewing that life on the other side for a year or so before he came into you. And I think having even a greater understanding of what you're expressing so eloquently here about we're here to be present, we're here to enjoy our lives. Because in a lot of ways, the life he was in before he passed over was very challenging. And I think he felt very handcuffed in a way to certain limiting beliefs, societal mores. And I know once he was on the other side, he felt so free. So I think he's really embodied a deeper level of we need to be present. We need to enjoy life. It is such a gift to have a body. He's been,
This is what you're talking about. I think is where a lot of people not go wrong, but just fail to allow themselves to go any way which into it to begin with. Like a whole, like what you're describing is basically synesthetic integration. Like there's I'm trying to there's all these processes and healing classes and all the breath work and plant medicine, and I've done all of it and I've mastered all of it, and it's not even like it didn't really get me anywhere. It always comes back to you, which where's you? I don't know. Figure it out. That's the point.